And welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Storytime with Mikey. This is episode 24 of my long running video series where I tell you stories about weird and funny and sad and dramatic things that happen in my life. I have one of the most dysfunctional lives ever because I have a very dysfunctional family that makes half the families you see on these TV sitcoms look normal. And that kind of comes into play in today's episode. I'm recording this at 10 a.m. I've been up all night, so please do forgive me if I'm not too energetic. But I was up all night, had a one hell of a night last night. Oh boy! But this episode is about an incident that happened in 2013, and I was living in an apartment with my grandmother, actually right across the street from where I'm living right now. Now, to lay the groundwork for this video, my grandma has epilepsy. She has a seizure disorder. She's had it since she was, well, she started having seizures when she was about 10, and then for a very long time, she had a big break, and then they came back. Um, and she had 2013. She got herself a car. She wanted a car. She wanted to go out and do things, take me places. She wanted to be able to not just have to rely on the bus or other people to come pick her up, take her places. She wanted to go out to shop or to look at things. She can go out and drive herself, be independent for a woman who at the time was in her mid 60s. But the problem is when you have epilepsy, you're not supposed to drive. But she did. And one day I was in the car there because I lived with her. I lived with my grandparents since I was 5. And after my grandfather died, I continued to live with her for 5 more years until I was 18, got my own place, and because of other things that were beyond our control. I've talked about that before already. We got in the car she had in 2013. We got in the car. We started to drive. We were going to go to the West End. She loved going to Goodwill, so we were going to go take a car ride to Goodwill. Just a simple car ride to the local thrift store. It's all right. But no, out of nowhere, she has a seizure while she's driving. And at first, I'm not noticing because I had my cell phone at the time. It's 2013. I had a very small smartphone from Nintelos. I had a very small smartphone. I was browsing through YouTube while she was driving, and I didn't notice at first that she was having a seizure because typically when she has her seizure, she makes like a grunting noise. And I didn't notice anything was wrong until the car began to ever so gently ease from the middle, of the road where it's supposed to be when you're driving, too closer to the curb, and then the mirror on my side, the passenger side mirror, gets lopped off like Amber Heard lopped off part of Johnny Depp's finger, just right off. The mirror got lopped off by a telephone pole that the car had grazed. And I'm like, oh my God, what is happening? I look over and she's having a seizure. And it's 2013. I am 16, going on 17 at the time. I don't know what to do. Really, I don't. Typically, when she has a seizure, she's at home. She's on the couch or on the bed or on the floor. I can call an ambulance. It's within my control. At this point, I have no control because I could easily call, say I need help, but the car has to stop. I have to stop this car from moving. But thankfully, by the grace of whatever you want to call it, I'm able to grab the steering wheel, grab the keys, and I'm able to get the car into a parking lot at the big lots that we have. I'm able to turn the wheel into the parking lot of the big lots. I'm not even aiming for a parking spot. I'm just trying to get it in the parking lot. When we get in the parking lot, I grab the keys. I take the keys out. The car stops. And I don't want to really embarrass her, but she had used the bathroom herself, which is typical when you have a very large seizure. It happens. It's just things that your body has to do things. I called my mother and an ambulance. Took her to the hospital, and like you're supposed to when you have a massive seizure. They had her restrained to the bed just in case she had another one. But I had to call my mother because I had a ride back home while my grandma went to the hospital. I had to have a way back home because I can't drive. I have no license. To say I have no license, and the car it's banged up. It's got some dents on the side where it grazed the pole. It's missing the passenger side mirror, completely severed from the car. There's some scratches and dents on the door. Thankfully, none of the windows were broken, but the car showed that it had bumped against the pole. And thankfully did not get mushed up into traffic while the car was still moving and she was having her foot on the accelerator. Like I said, my life is anything but normal. I don't know how many times any of you, or if at all, have been in the car with someone while they're driving and they have a seizure. If you have, then you know my panic. You know the panic I was in that moment. That hadn't happened before, because typically when she has a seizure, I can control it because she's at home where she's not driving on a road. But hey, at least I was able to stop the car. I remembered, okay, I can take the wheel and turn it, and the car will go this way, and aim for the parking lot. Take out the keys, the car will go. It will stop. Car can't go without keys in the ignition. My brain, for long enough, had one brain cell activate like that. Panic will make your one brain cell go, okay, you have to do this to save yourself. And that was today's episode of Storytime with Mikey, the time that Mikey almost died because his grandma has a medical condition that should keep her from driving cars, but she's always been stubborn. So, yeah, this was a very interesting episode of Storytime with Mikey. I hope you all enjoyed this. Sorry it wasn't that much fun. It's talking about a time where I almost died. But what are you going to do? It makes for an entertaining story. So thank you all so much for watching. I will see you all in the next video. Cheers.